gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first the host, straight from After the Slam podcast, Bodacious Albert.
After the slam, where the real ones stand, we talk dreams, defeats, and the master plan. From the locker room tales to the spotlight glam, you'll feel every hand. This is after the slam. This is after the slam. Body slam gear.
Welcome everyone to After the Slam. This is a special edition. I think this is episode 19. What a weekend. What a night we had last night. But we're not going to talk about what happened last night because we're going to leave last night behind us. We're going to talk about the man who we grew up on, the man that we started watching when he faced Kurt Angle his first day and tapped out last night. But I invited most of my guests, my previous guests from After the Slam on this episode, who I'm honored that some came, some couldn't make it. But the people I have today, I'm honored to have with me celebrating John Cena, the never seen 17 real world champion, Mr. John Cena, who retired last night gracefully, left his gray sneakers and his wristbands in the middle of the ring, and said his final goodbyes to us wrestling fans. But man, I'm getting emotional just thinking about this shit. Whoa. But let me introduce you to my guests. First, I'd like to introduce you. He is a member of the DWE. He is the EVP. He is the golden boy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is CJP.
What's going on, everybody? I am the EVP of the EVP show. Also, am with GWE and Gimmick Table Media. Honored to be here. I've been looking forward to this since you came to us from the DM. So last night was great. Not great in all those aspects, but emotional. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about John and everything he's done for professional wrestling. So thank you for the invite.
Well, thank you for coming, CJ. Thank you. Also with us today, we have the man. A couple episodes back, he is from the Gimmick Table Media. He is from the podcast of Kicking Out of Two. He is Michael the Brains.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me. Can't wait to talk about this.
Thanks, Michael, for coming. I appreciate your presence. Also, the leader, I called him the El Capitano of the DWE. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great. Oh, is he the great? He is Miami the Great.
What's going on, guys? Just another day. I'm here to celebrate John Cena, and can't wait till we get into some couple topics and talk with you guys. Let's get it started.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Miami, for showing up. Also, way back in November, episode 2 of After the Slam, one of my originators that helped me bring this podcast to life. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the Renegade of Wrestling from the Casa D18 Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you JJ Williams.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for having me here. Bodacious Albert, it's a pleasure to be making my return.
Yes,
to
sir.
Celebrate the career of the GOAT, the Never Seen 17.
You can't see me. Also with us today from the Wrestle Collective, he is another member that I had on my show that I've had so much pleasure with. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Carlos Estrada.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Cena.
Thank you, Cena. Carlos, having technical difficulties, but that's just fine. Hearing your voice is just wonderful. Don't worry about it. Thank you for coming, Carlos.
Yep.
Also, just popped in here. She's the co-host. Oh my God, this is a surprise to me. It is the you know what? I'm just going to call her. Ladies and gentlemen, she co-hosts with Miami the Great. It's Final Boss baby in the house. Final Boss.
Hey. Yeah, yesterday was the day, and here we are. So, yeah.
Here we are. We're going to just celebrate The man. We're just gonna celebrate John Cena, what he's done for us from when he started, and till last night. I don't. I. It's so difficult for me to express what happened yesterday, but it is what it is, right? Did we just lose somebody? I think we lost JJ, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep, appears to be.
He's gonna pop back, I guess. But let me start. Well, he was supposed to start with the. He was supposed to start, but guys, let me start with you, CJ. What watching WWE. Back in 2002 when he debuted against Kurt Angle. What did you like? I'm gonna ask. I want to hear from all of you guys. What was your impression when we saw this young, crew cut, muscle toned body man of John Cena making his debut and changing the way we watch wrestling? Ruthless aggression. CJ, what was your first impression? Sorry, my language, Canadian. Sorry. What was your first impression of John Cena when he first arrived?
I mean, truthfully, I was watching WCW, also watching WWE as well. When I first saw John Cena, I'm like, well, is he just going to be another one of these comedian type, or I wasn't sure what to think, to be honest with you. But the story of how his career, took its path, from being on the tour bus, obviously, and Stephanie McMahon hearing him rap, and he was about to be fired. Like they couldn't find anything for this man to do, and to start off like he did with the Angle and go there. The main thing I have the most respect for John Cena about is he stuck with WWE his entire career, and he is truly the backbone of WWE and the GOAT. And thank you, John, for that.
Yes, of course. He came in with those tights and slapped Kurt Angle, and the rest is history. When we, as a wrestling fan, says John Cena. JJ, what was your impression of John Cena when he debuted back in 2002?
I feel like I have a slightly different perspective because I'd seen John Cena on tapes because I'm in Southern California. So I had seen some of his Ultimate Pro Wrestling stuff before he made it to OVW, when he was training with the likes of Frankie Kazarian, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Fowler Brothers, before. So for me, it's about effing time that he was on TV, because I had kind of seen his humble beginnings and everything. But I knew at that moment when he slapped Kurt Angle and declared ruthless aggression that he was going to be a guy to watch. That now that he was given the opportunity to shine and be on weekly television, and it was a rocky road, like was pointed out. It wasn't until the freestyling on the tour bus, but I knew that it was going to be something special if they gave it the time in the slow cooker to let it boil, let it marinate, let it season,
It's cool to have you on the show to actually explain it, because first thing I saw of John Cena was when he came out to face Kurt Angle. I didn't know the UPW stuff before that, so that and you've seen him from there. It says about time. It's actually refreshing and good to hear. I saw a little stuff later on saying that he was with his blonde hair sitting down, and he was saying, "I'm here to learn how to play learn how to wrestle. I just want to try it out, see how it feels," kind of thing. To becoming the GOAT, it's crazy. But a
lot of people feel like he made his acting debut in the Marine, but what a lot of people don't realize is that he is a visible extra in Ready to Rumble.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
In the scene where they're trying to approach Goldberg in the gym, you can see him walking to the weights to start working out there.
Oh my God, that's crazy! I remember that. Now I'm gonna have to find that clip. Yeah, JJ, thank you for your answer there. I want to hear from Michael, actually. Michael from Kicking Out of Two. Your impression and your thoughts of John Cena's debut.
So I get to go kind of in the middle here because I started seeing him in OVW as the prototype.
Yes, me too.
And immediately caught my attention, like specifically just the fun stuff that he would do on the mic. You could tell that he's going to be one of those that's going to be a comfortable talker. And so can he match the same thing in the ring? The gimmick he did, if he would reverse what he said in a promo, he would hit the line and then he'd say, let me run that back. And they would say it backwards and then go back and say it again. Like that was insane to have something that different and that cool. I had a lot of hope when he came out to see John Cena because of that, or to see Kurt Angle because of that.
Yeah.
Him coming out there, just saying ruthless aggression, not giving us anything else, just saying that, smacking the hell out of him. It was a great way to debut a guy. So I had a lot of hope of what's going to happen, and we'll obviously get into the rest of his career. It didn't go too well to start, but we got there.
It was a fair match. It was an all right match, not the greatest match we've ever seen from it. But you know what? This guy debuted without a vignette, without a promotional package coming soon. This guy came out with red boots and red tights.
Yep.
You know, shorts.
I mean, he's not Daniel Pewter, so we're okay.
At least thank the gods. Let's hear from Carlos. Carlos Estrada, thank you for being here. Your first thoughts of John Cena's debut, my friend. If he's there. Carlos?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, as a gay man, I was very happy to see John Cena on television, but I'm not, again, I just thought it was really cool. It was something different, like you didn't really see that. Like the thing that I love about wrestling now is like back in the 80s, we never got to see like the mid card, low card guys become top stars. Like it was like, again, like so many guys that we talked about, like Kurt Hennig never won a title, Jake Roberts, so like it's just a different era of like where you see somebody come from the very beginning and then become the top person in history, become the greatest of all time. Just very cool to be there from the very beginning to the end. Again, thank you, John Cena. Like again, just again, somebody like I appreciate the fact that, again, he even talks about it. He's not the most technical wrestler. He's not the best but at the same time, like he just reminds me of Tom Brady. You work hard, you put the work in, and you get to become elite. It's just really good, and it's really good to show people too. You don't got to be the best. Hard work pays off too, and I just really admire that about him.
That's nice. This is a man who we're all sitting here today talking about, and he pulled our heartstrings. So there's something special about that man, John Cena. Miami the Great. Your first thoughts of John Cena's debut. I would like to hear your thoughts.
Actually, when I first seen John Cena was against Kurt Angle, we was gonna get the person we was gonna get now. Everyone said at the table, we're gonna go more deep into his career and success, but it was something that we never knew what we was gonna get. Didn't know that he was gonna become the wrestler that we were gonna call the greatest of all time, but it was interesting when he came out there with Kurt Angle and did the challenge. He didn't win the match, but he still got the handshake from the Undertaker and the back, which I feel like that at the time was gonna be his rub, but we all know that Vince didn't take kind of him at that point in time, and Stephanie came in and kind of really saved his career because she held him over the bus rapping on the bus, and that's when we got this character. He went from the prototype to the John Cena kind of rapper type of gimmick, so, and the rest was history. So thank God for that, but I felt like he got over with me after the Kurt Angle and getting the handshake with the Undertaker. That's what I felt like he got over, but Vince didn't see that, and it still worked out though.
Yeah, I totally agree. For me, in that span time, it was his match against Chris Jericho at Vengeance. That's the one that got my eye on John Cena. But no, the one against Kurt Angle, it's the infamous one. It is. Final Boss. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and your about John Cena's debut. Final Boss.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so finding the button is hard for me. I'm doing chores. But but yeah, I mean, he was dressed as the average prototype. I mean, here he is with the shorts on, muscle guy. That's how they looked back then. That's what Vince liked back then. And a lot of people are gonna say, well, hey, I never expect John Cena to be what he is now. You know, the GOAT. But the truth is that a lot of people things, as everyone on here at this table has basically said and reiterated, is that he was really discovered when Stephanie McMahon heard him rapping on the tour bus, because back then he was really into the whole rap thing and they turned into a gimmick. Well, we say that now, but think about other wrestlers. Think about your Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wasn't meant to be the guy. WWE was obsessed with Seth Rollins, but what happened? You know, Seth Rollins, unfortunately, you know, he got hurt. We had a breakup of the Shield. We had Roman, even though he was a big guy, he was the muscle. He wasn't the architect. He was the muscle of the group, and he went through the big dog, horribly booked. We never thought he could be the next John Cena, but Vince wanted him to so badly. And then what happened? He got a re-ramp, and now he's a tribal chief, and we would have never thought that years ago. You know, to take it away from for a second, look at Ludacris. Ludacris was discovered because he was cleaning in the studio and was rapping, and he was overheard rapping. Yeah. And Miami can go more into that because that's more Miami's feels. It's like music, right? But I mean, people are found in the most weirdest ways, and you have to know how to take what they like, something small, and blow it up. And that's what they did with John Cena. He liked rapping. It turned into a gimmick, and guess what? No surprise, you know, it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. It worked to the point that he had some great rivalries. Who do we lose now? I think CJ. CJ keeps popping in and out. Poor guy. It worked to the point that it brought him to WrestleMania. It brought him to these matches. Well, let's beforehand. It brought him to matches with, again, like I said, Chris Jericho. Brought him to matches against JBL, against Booker. That's the best out of 7 series or best out of 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. With Booker T. You know, those are great matches that he had. I want to go to JJ. JJ, I know you don't have a lot of time with us because you have your own show in about, I guess, 10 minutes. But talk to me about what you feel, and because I don't want to keep you here that long, because I know you have your own watch along, and I want to respect your time. But tell me how you feel about all this, his career. Tell me what it meant to you, what John Cena did. What was your favorite moment? Something that will always be in your life because of John. I like to say John Cena because of Santino, but John Cena.
Last night was emotional for me. I'm not going to lie, and I'm sure it was for a lot of us. You know, I talked about this because we did a watch along of Saturday night's main event last night, and I mentioned this a couple times. You know, for as great as these names I'm going to list off are, you know, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I wasn't into wrestling at the start of their careers. So when their careers ended, as impactful as it was, it didn't hit me the way that this did, because I was watching SmackDown when he came out and debuted. I had seen him on the independent circuit. You know, so I've literally been following this man from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You know, being able to open the book and read, you know, the foreword, the opening chapters of the saga, and then being there when the shoes, the armbands, wristbands are being left in the ring and the book is now officially closed. And for me, John will always represent dedication. If I can narrow things down to one word, I think that's the word I would use for him, is dedication. His dedication to the sport, his dedication to the fans, his dedication to the backstage stuff like Make-A-Wish, his dedication to every aspect of his career is something that nobody can ever question. You can argue, was he the right person for the spot? You can argue, should he have won all the matches that he won, or should he have put some people over along the way that maybe he didn't put over? At the end of the day, those weren't his decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But you can never argue his dedication.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what Cena is always going to be for me. As far as moments, I was there at WrestleMania 21 when he won his first championship.
Amazing.
The match itself was what it was. It wasn't the greatest, but to be there for that moment and him celebrating his first championship in the crowd with the fans, I was there for that. So that's something that'll forever live with me.
That's it. That's what you. It's great. I can hear
could
the
go on,
emotion in your throat, my
my
friend.
time is limited, and I don't want to take away from anything that the other panelists may say. So
I know, but I'm fair. I want to like I loved your answer here, and I could hear the emotion in your throat. Shit, that video tribute they did last night after he lost made me cry like a baby. Just why I don't know this man, but watching him on TV, watching his movies, watching his interviews, watching what he's done for children with the Make-A-Wishes and all that.
But see, that's the thing is like, even if you have never met the man, even if you don't know him on a personal level, like you know your dad or your best friend or whatever, all of us know him.
We all know him.
Because the man we saw in the ring is the man he was outside of the ring.
Yeah.
He was that same guy across everything. You know, there's no difference between John Cena, the character, and John Cena, the man at home with his wife and everything.
We could all agree.
Got to know him just by watching him on TV.
Yeah. We could all agree that, you know, when he says you can't see me, we always saw him. So we all could agree to that. That's the thing that drives me berserk. But JJ, if you have to go, I don't want to keep you some time. Thank you so much for coming. If you want to stay along.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I do wish that I didn't have other obligations that I had to get to.
No
if
worries.
we get done and you're still on the air, then I'll try to come back. But I doubt as much because it's a wrestling watch along, so it's good for 2 to 3 hours. So
thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence. We shall do another episode, you and I, one day.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Michael the Brains, I want to know you now. Yes, sir. I want to know you. Then we're gonna go to Carlos right after. I want to know you. What did he mean to you? What's John Cena's your emotional attachment to John?
So I think like a lot of people on the dais, it's going to be we got to see the beginning and the end. And if you can't tell by the gray and the beard, there's a few wrestlers that I've seen that already. Like I've seen that with Taker. I got to see him start his WWF career in that Survivor Series and go forward. However, like you said, Cena's Cena. Like it's his real name. He acts like himself in and out of the ring. So this is someone that we've got to see and grow with and has become part of our lives. Where like with me, with Taker retiring, like, yeah, it was sad, but we never got to meet Mark until he retired. So it's a little different. This being something so synonymous, and hearing a lot of his backstory resonates with me because I'm from a north city in north area, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I always leaned more towards like he picked up like the rap game and did all that, and like I always felt more comfortable in that area of my life. I didn't like the other side of life. I'm trying to say it as politically as possible without offending people, but So when he came out with the jorts and the pumps and came out rapping and like that felt good to me, and it obviously felt good to society at the time, because if you look on the other channel, you had the Wolfpack with their new theme, and it was kind of more in that genre. You had Kevin Nash, you know,
And
copying Tupac with the bandana. You had No Limit Soldiers doing their thing with Rey Mysterio and his crew. Like, so he evolved where WWE had not evolved yet. He started getting into that niche, and I think that just helped boost his career even more. It just shows, though, that someone, if you go in there with the right mentality, the hard work, the dedication, because like you hear it from everybody that he's worked with, he's the first one to show up. He is the last one to leave, even when he doesn't have to be. The event that Bailey put on for young female wrestlers, he showed up and watched people wrestle for 8 hours. Like, he's not busy enough right now.
Yeah.
But just decided to do that to help pass that on and help out who he could. That's amazing to have that type of mentality. And then just the heart of the guy, because like, if I remember right, he still to this day holds the Make-A-Wish Foundation record for 650 wishes granted in 2022. So, I mean, if you think of that, that's more than two a day that he's doing these wishes on average. Like, that's crazy that he has that kind of heart and that type of thing. And it's very rare that we get someone in this business that we never hear anybody really say anything bad about. Like, yeah, we've had a couple of things pop up here and there here recently
that's the funny part.
Yeah, people that, quite frankly, never made it in the business really themselves. So,
Yeah. I read a comment about that. I hate that. Why you pop out of nowhere now when the guy's retiring, trying to retire gracefully, and you got to say these negative things? Shut the fuck up and get out of here. It's like, that's what it is. But yeah, continue. Sorry, I started.
That's okay. But the last thing I want to say about it is that it was emotional to me because he was my son's guy. And my son hasn't watched wrestling. He's kind of in that period of his life that I think we all went to, of like, women are more important than wrestling, and wrestling's not cool, to that opposite side most of the time. Yeah. So he's kind of stepped away. But as soon as he heard John Cena's last match, he was like, "Dad, we got to watch it together. Like, I got to watch that, because that's my guy. If he's never going to do this again, I have to see it." And
he shared that moment with you because of John Cena.
Exactly. So I got a moment with my kid that we can talk about forever. Like, we saw this dude's last match. He's never coming back.
Together. So I'm getting choked up. Just, that's nice to hear. Oh man, happy for you, Michael.
Thank you.
Carlos, my friend Carlos, love this man. He's a supporter of this podcast from the beginning. And Carlos, thank you very much for everything you've done for me. Your opinion, my friend. I want to know what you think about and what John Cena meant to you, besides his spandex and his red boots. You're muted, buddy. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I'm gonna kind of keep it short and sweet. The thing that we hear about from people is, like a lot of celebrities and stuff like that, is you never want to meet your idols. I think John Cena is that one guy where if you met him, it'd be an honor to meet him, because. And again, I disagree with some people. I don't think the John Cena we see is the real John Cena, but I don't mean it in a negative way. I think he's very business sense. Like, he's aware that he's always being watched. He's aware that he's a role model for people. He's aware of what he represents. Like, he's very on brand. And so I think that, he's always in business mode, and I respect that. I think he's genuine. He didn't have to do this for us. He didn't have to come back and give this year, but he did, because he appreciates his fans, and so I just think of gratitude when I see him, loyalty to a fault in some things, but I just think, again, I just really respect the man, because again, I think, like I said, he's somebody who, again, when they say don't meet your idols, he's somebody that I would love to meet, and I think everyone would love to meet in person.
Yeah, the last time he was in Montreal, my hometown, it was one of the dates in his ending of his career. One of the dates, those 38 dates he had. and I couldn't make it to that show. Distraught, because I'm like, just to be in the same arena as the man, smelling whatever I'm smelling, beer in the audience, whatever it may be, just to be in there would have been an honor. But uh, the match he had with Sammy and everything else in that whole retirement tour, um, the
I think
respect.
we all have those special moments. Like I went to SmackDown. I think it was like about 4 years ago in Sacramento. I think it was like 4 years ago, back when he was back. And he wasn't really doing things on TV that much. But I got to be there for that dark. He wrestled Dominic Mysterio on that dark match. And I knew then, hey, this guy, he's here because he wants to do this. He's here because he wants to give to the fans, and this means a lot to him. And so for me, that was kind of like my goodbye. Like again, just getting to see him there live. Because I knew there wasn't going to be very more opportunities like that. So just a very cool moment because again, he didn't have to do that dark match. Dominic was barely turning heel then, and it was really cool and fun to watch. So I thank him for that.
Yeah, thank you, John. Let's go to Miami. Miami, what are your emotional attachments or your thoughts of John Cena and what he's done for you and your life? Miami the Great.
I want to say I don't got too many emotional attachments to John. I do respect what he does and what he has done for the industry. When he first, like I said in the beginning, when he first started off, we did not know he was going to become this great, um, greatest of all time. The many matches that he had with the great Khali, Batista, the Triple H's, even The
Yes.
Rock when they did the back to back once in a lifetime, and being Final Boss always just around about every time. Um, and just the things that he done. Let's just be honest. He's one of the people that I think he still holds the Guinness World Record of doing the charities for the kids. So,
Make a wish. Yeah.
and he did no WWE didn't ask him to do that. He did that on his own. He makes sure that he does that on his own. So, there has to be some kind of good person in there. I wouldn't say everyone. We all here have our flaws. We all are not perfect. No one's perfect. Someone's gonna like you. Someone's not gonna like you. I mean, that's just how the world is. But I think at the end of the day, John is gonna be John. A lot of people, me and CJ, we text each other. Next year, they don't need to push the button and go ahead and put him in the Hall of Fame with Stephanie. I know that's the only person they announced right now, and it will be good to see. I think that will be something that I would like to see and for them to announce. I'm just hoping that because it's a lot of people that we have seen leave their boots, gloves, or whatever it may be in the ring and they come back, but
Yeah.
there are a lot that hasn't came back, like the Kurt Angle. He has never wrestled again. Batista has never wrestled. And many more people probably I can probably think off the top of my head that's not wrestled again. So I'm hoping that this is the final one for him because I feel like it was good. It got Gunther some major heat. He might be one of the biggest heels in WWE. That's something me and CJ talked about last night too. So I feel like this is a great send off. He did what he needed to do. CJ pointed out that you seen the smile on John Cena's face when Gunther had him in a sleeper and he tapped out. That's the only part I didn't like about it because it feel like to me that kind of killed the whole persona, the whole character of him never giving up. I'd rather him passed it out than the tap out. But I mean, maybe that's the way he wanted to go, and maybe give Gunther that person that he was. I think he's the like second or third person he ever tapped out to. So I mean, other than that, I don't have too much attachments to John Cena. Just we're all going to miss him. He's had some great feuds with Randy, great feuds with, like I said, Triple H and people like Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, and many more. He's done so much for the industry. Other than that, we're going to miss him, and we're going to just see what's next for him. I know he's still going to be an ambassador, and see what he's going to do. Probably won't see him. He'll probably be backstage, but let's probably hear some things about him. So let's just see where it goes from here.
I don't ever think he'll be in the ring again. I think that was his last match, his last physical match in the ring last night with Gunther. But his 5-year contract as an ambassador. People were saying that he was going to go to EW. Sorry, Carlos, he ain't going to EW. But but
So we're gonna start taking shots, huh? I would never think him to go there. He's loyal. Again, he's loyal. Like I would never. That's never even crossed my mind. I don't want him there.
I know. Just pulling your leg. I said your name because I want to say it.
Shots want to go there. But when Bailey goes there in a year, I'll be collecting all your tears. There we go.
I'm just hoping that that's true, cause
She can go. Bye.
I just hope it's true. Cause my thing, I think when it comes to when people, I think when people retire, it kind of messes up the whole thing. Like when Rick would have probably had one of the best ones, but he's just, I guess it's just wrestling in his blood, and he came back and started doing all those other like independent matches and matches like that. I think it kind of killed the Flair kind of almost character a little bit for me, because I was like, man, it would have been perfect. I mean, the match between him and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania was perfect. It was a great set off, great retirement.
I think it's cool now that they're. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I think it's cool now that they're in a place though where they make a lot of money to where they can actually retire. I think that was the problem in the past, is that wrestlers didn't get paid what they did now. So like with those guys, they had to go back and wrestle because they couldn't pay their bills and stuff like that, and they had to make money. So I just think it's great that the professional wrestling business is in a place now where these guys are making what they should be making for what they do, putting their bodies on the line every time they go out there. But also, this is the way John wanted to go. Rick wasn't ready to go, So and again, that's the beautiful thing about this is he's getting to go out the way he wanted to, and I don't. And again, he's not going to break his word. This is the last time. I do think we'll see another five knuckle shuffle, because he'll probably do one on somebody in the ring. But as far as again, he gets to go out the way he wanted to, and Rick didn't. All the other wrestlers didn't want to. They were told you have to retire, or their bodies broke down. So again, I just think this is why this is so special, because he's going out the way he wanted to.
I want to ask you. I'll ask. I'm going to start with Final Boss and then start with I'll use. Do you guys think? Maybe it's a question for later on. I'll say this question for later on. But I want to know. I want to know your favorite John Cena rivalry. I've had two of them I enjoyed the most, and I know I already could see the Rock versus John Cena rivalry come up. I'm not.
Edge. I know yours is Edge.
Shock. Oh shit! Low blow. Boom. Yeah. No, but I want to know, CJ. I want to know you first. Like your favorite John Cena rivalry. Your John Cena rivalry. It could be more than one. Which ones did you enjoy the most?
First, I missed out on the last topic. I wanted to comment just for a second on what Carlos just said. Obviously, like I said, my biggest thing for Cena, I was gone for a minute. That the thing I respect the most about him is he stayed with WWE. I said this from the beginning. But he 100,000% is not wrestling again. Saudi Arabia has already offered him buku money to wrestle at WrestleMania 43, and he's politely declined and said, "Why would I go and do this whole spiel of the last time is now tournament to build, which could have been better. We know that, but to build up somebody, and build up these superstars and go through all of this to end my career to take Saudi Arabia's money to come back at WrestleMania 43, he's done." So if anybody thinks otherwise, I'm sorry, it's not happening. We won't see him in the ring again. And biggest rivalry, man, there's been a lot.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, there's so many to pick from. I'm gonna have to go Kurt Angle too. I don't know. I'm not. This is a little difficult for me because I did grow up in the '80s, but John Cena hasn't always been my guy. Not even a top five, but I do respect everything he's done for the business and how he stuck with WWE. I honestly really didn't start like John Cena until he lost the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. And his last babyface run was the best thing I've ever seen. His matches, I would say I've watched him wrestle. He just never, I just never was like able to acclimate with him. But I respect him. He's the GOAT. Greatest of all time. There's never going to be anybody. I don't think we'll ever see it again. But I would say Kurt Angle as far as the feud.
Okay. I see Carlos. You just wrote hey chat. Everybody in the chat. Hello. I'm trying to navigate the 17 screens here. So, guys, thank you for coming and comment. Ask your questions on the chat. That's cool. I see some friends. I see my cousin on the show. I see our friend Sean McGrath here. Who else is here? Kicking out. Greg. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people on the chat. My goodness. If you have any questions for any of my guests or for me or for just write them down in the chat, and we'll do like a small Q&A later on towards the end of the show. Okay, so for rivalry, Cody Rhodes and Kurt Angle. Got you. All right, final boss. Anybody but The Rock, please.
Adam Pearce.
Hey man, hey.
I cracked Miami. All right.
Hey,
All right.
well, before I get there, as far as what Cena means to me, and I think that and I really agree with Carl's actually. I know a lot of people have said, and even on this podcast, is that Cena is the same person you see in the ring outside the ring. I disagree respectfully.
That's okay.
But I think Carlos hit the nail on the head where he said, hey, business mindset. Yes, he does hold the Guinness record for the most Make-A-Wishes for Make-A-Wish Foundation, but that's because John Cena is an ambassador for WWE. So he's kind of obligated to do that. And does he have to do that? No, he can always say, hey, this is my limit, WWE, and this is it. I mean, he could, but he is an ambassador. So, and it's not like, they don't have a partnership with WWE. If they didn't, they would not be showing Make-A-Wish Foundation every year and Connor's Cure and all that stuff. So take that as you want. That, that is the truth. But Cena has such a great mindset for the business. He clearly respects this business. And as far as him coming back and doing this tour, we can say it was for the fans. And I think a lot had to do with his fans. He wanted to go out the right way. But I think he also wanted to finally put that cement in his legacy from a business standpoint and say, hey, this is me retiring, but how can we do it in a way that pays back also to the fans as well, and not just have a regular match, but actually have a run. It was partially for the fans, but also for his legacy and for his business mindset. Now, of course, he found out later that TKO WWE kind of botched that whole idea because he wanted to do a lot more dates. But the idea behind it that John Cena had was just so great. Also, for me to be negative Nancy once again, is that he wanted to retire because he just felt like he couldn't do it anymore. And then someone could say, hey, it's because he just wanted to give the fans 100%. No, yes and no. Yes, he wanted to give 100% when he went out there, but it's also because it was for a business standpoint. Is that he looked at it as like, hey, I can't be your guy anymore because I'm old now. I can't be your guy anymore. It does not make sense business-wise, WWE, for me to still be here and be your guy when I can't deliver. And that is partially what he said during that interview. And it makes sense. I mean, we've been looking for the next John Cena for years. John Cena, honestly, he hasn't been around in years. He's been doing only one match a year for the last 5 years. I kind of really wish, though, that he was still doing that one match a year, WrestleMania every year. He does that until he dies, but I guess we're not getting that, so I'm so sad. But he left, and he could have stayed a little bit longer. and did more WWE, finished that out, and then went straight on to Hollywood. He kind of really didn't. He actually kind of left shortly after, that twice in a lifetime match with my husband, The Rock. So he kind of wasted a lot of good years because he kind of left early.
Yeah.
Same thing Rock did, left kind of early. Same thing Batista did, left kind of early. And the thing is that when it comes to your ring age, it's different from ages from other activities because it's so physically demanding, is that you kind of want to get that out the way first and then do other things because you're wasting your years, by you doing that. We're saying all the time with the whole Rock and Roman thing, where like, hurry up because The Rock is getting old as hell. But that's the reality. And I love Cena. I loved him. Thugonomics, the Chain Gang, the C Nation, the franchise. I loved him coming out with the chain with the master lock on. That is a Cena that that I loved. I loved him having this weird gimmicky thing where he's a rapper, but it's kind of not really the best, but it's not really the worst because we heard Trick Williams song. But I like the idea. Yeah. And we all thought that this album that he had, that one album, we all thought it was a joke. He actually made the album, and we all love that song that he comes out to, right? And it became iconic. It took something that, hey, this is garbage, he turned it into pure gold. And that is the beauty of John Cena. Now, as far as if he comes back, because I know CJ said he's not coming back, and a lot of us said he's not coming back. He said he's not coming back. He actually said they can't write a check big enough for me to come back. Once I'm done, I'm done. I hope that he has some revelations about that years down the line, like HBK. Now, granted, don't crap on me now. I know the HBK match was an abomination.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible. But before that match took place, HBK did say that if it went well, he was open to other things. And remember, he hadn't wrestled since he retired against Taker. And that was part of the whole build. Now, of course, it went horribly wrong, so we're never going to see HBK ever again. And now he's like broken down. But I don't know. He's supposed to have, double replacement knee surgery and stuff. So we don't know. We don't know. But it's always that glimmer of hope, for John Cena, that he'll get the itch again and he'll come back and he'll do a match for us.
I think
if he does do it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Final Boss.
I think if he does do it, doesn't take away from the whole leaving the items in the ring. I think, like Miami said, a lot of people have done it. Hell, Undertaker did it. And we had no idea that the Boneyard match was going to be his last match. So, and last thing before I answer your question, the last question, is someone talked about how we didn't know who Mark was until after Taker retired. That's because Taker was so into keeping the gimmick alive. I don't know if you remember, but when the Wyatt Six had came back the second time, yes, the famous thong. But when they came back, they had went out to eat afterwards at Whataburger, and Taker was mad, saying that you guys just crapped all over keeping the gimmick alive, like, because for him the gimmick was your everything. You was that 24/7 all year round, and he didn't want to really expose that until after he was done. Cena's gimmick is not really like a character-ish gimmick. Yeah, he has a never give up, hustle, loyalty, respect, but it's more of just between that and a personality. Same thing with kind of like Cody Rhodes' gimmick, so he can kind of do that. So I respect Taker a lot for keeping that whole dead man, the Phenom, around until he actually retired, and now we get dried up Mark now, right? But at least he's still there, and I hope that now that we know that WWE is going to keep him as an ambassador for 5 years, like you mentioned after the Slam, is that he'll be a name that we still hear. Because an example of an ambassador is, of course, Billy Ray, also known as formerly Bubba Ray, because he's doing his own thing. He's he has the podcast. Same thing with Mark Henry. Those are names that are ambassadors that we still see, we still hear. So I'm really hoping that when he goes over this ambassador role, that this is going to be a name that we still kind of see around, we still hear, even if it's not in an in-ring capacity. Now, to answer your question after Slam about my favorite rivalry for John Cena, if it's not The Rock, 2 times, twice in a lifetime, back to back. Yeah. I mean, I love that for Cena, but actually, hopefully, The Rock is not watching. Hopefully, he's not. I didn't tag him this time,
watching.
so
He's
I
watching.
think no, I didn't tag him, so I think we're good right now.
They're all watching.
But my favorite rivalry was with Cena. Was him and JBL.
Wow.
That I Quit match is the best damn I Quit match for me in fucking history. Oops, I shouldn't curse on that. This is not DW rated. My bad. In history.
There you go. No, that's good.
I love that match. I really wish that this last match between Gunther and Cena was like an I Quit match or some kind of weird stimulation type match, and it really wasn't. But yeah, for me, it was him and JBL. That for me is probably also my favorite JBL match, honestly, as well.
I like the fact that you said you wish it was a stipulation match. I too wish it was a stipulation match, maybe a tables match, so Cena could have won. But anyways, let's get to the next person. Because JBL and John Cena I Quit match. The fact that Cena got busted open that much, bloodshed all over the ring. I'll never forget that match at Judgment Day. And he had the chain and the belt on one arm, or he had both belts on both arms, I think it was, both undisputed titles. And he was like, he celebrated with the victory, and the blood was just gushing. Very, very similar to his JBL and the Eddie Guerrero rivalry. But the blood gushing.
Well, for me, my favorite part of it was actually JBL's part. I like when he quit. The way he said, I quit for me was just great.
Yeah. We saw remnants to a lot of those I Quits with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles and all that stuff. But that rivalry, the intensity of the JBL John Cena match, Final Boss, I appreciate that you actually picked that one besides the Rock ones. But I'm. Hey, listen, the Rock rivalry was it lasted a year. It was good too. But the fact that you said JBL, that's a unique answer, and I respect it very much, Final Boss. So thank you for that answer. I want to know Carlos Estrada's now. Carlos, your favorite rivalry from John Cena?
I know you're going to cover the man from Canada, so I'm going to go with the Miz. And I'm going to say, because again, I love Miz. I'm a big Miz guy. I think Miz is like a super. He doesn't get his flowers. I was glad to see him on the show yesterday. Yeah, the reason why I'm going to say this is for 2 reasons. Because I think it was one of the first times ever where you really saw John Cena put over somebody who people maybe didn't think that deserved it, and he did, and he believed in Miz, and he let him win at WrestleMania. And also just for what they did for the feud they had later on, what they did for women's wrestling involving Maurice and Nikki Bella, and doing that mixed match at WrestleMania. Maybe people would have said that wasn't a match worthy of John Cena, but I just think the fact that he did that for Miz and he did that for women's wrestling just really makes me respect that a lot. Awesome. I can't. I want to say Randy, but I think that we went too long, and I love Randy Orton. I think Randy was sacrificed for John Cena in a lot of ways. I think Randy deserved better, so it's not that. But I'll go Miz.
Did you notice last night that the Miz was wearing the attire of his WrestleMania?
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, yep.
It was a nice nod.
Awesome.
It was awesome. I like the Miz doesn't get enough props. Doesn't get enough. I hated the fact that he shared the ring with Joe Hendry. I hate Joe Hendry. I'm sorry. I don't like the man. I don't like Joe Hendry.
But I mean, but you're that Poppy guy yesterday. I mean, it's like they're wasting him, making him take L's in NXT. It's like he's hot. Put him up there. But yeah, he's not for everybody. But that crowd loved him. It's about moment or farming. That's what he does best.
He could have put somebody else besides Joe Hendry in that part. But the Miz 100% hands down. Great rivalry with the Miz at WrestleMania, and again, final boss, The Rock was involved. So yeah, that was a good WrestleMania match. And then the match, I like the Miz and I think it was John Morrison match, the triple threat with Cena. That
Yeah.
was a pretty intense triple threat cage match, if you will. That rivalry is awesome. Yeah. So now, so we got Cody Rhodes from DVP, we got the Miz, and we got JBL. Now let's hear from Michael the Brains from Kicking Out of Two Podcast. Who is your favorite rivalry for John Cena?
A lot of great answers here, but I've always been a fan of my favorite time of the year when it's time to beat up John Cena. So AJ Styles and the OC doing their thing with Cena. That whole thing was fun. It brought AJ to another level. We got the face that runs the place because of it. To me, that was just a lot of fun. It helped build up someone who needed kind of that extra push, that extra shove in the WWE fans' eyes. Those of us that saw him in TNA and even back WCW, we knew what we were seeing. They needed something to hold on to. So them running through John Cena, even though at the end the hero has to win, right? So at the end he gets the title from AJ Styles, but that run to me was one of my favorites.
So AJ Styles, which one? The first one at SummerSlam or the second one at the Royal Rumble?
So I think the second one was my favorite just because it started the whole thing. Or the first one was my favorite. Cena getting the title at the Rumble to kind of cap that off the second go around was a lot of fun. But I like where it started, of them just every week was just them beating down John Cena and him having to come up from underneath because of it.
Now we have to remember this. Cena won, defeating AJ Styles with an incredible reign that AJ had. Actually, the first reign, so the second reign he had a better reign, but his first reign with AJ and Cena defeats him. Then it went to Bray Wyatt. Then it went to Randy Orton. And then it went to Jinder Mahal. So it was a little,
Hey, don't hinder Jinder.
No comment. Next person. No. Next person. Miami the Great. Your favorite rivalry from John Cena. What is it, my friend? Miami.
You said me?
Yeah, I said you. I said Miami the Great. The Great Miami.
Can you hear me?
We hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if you hear me or not. I was very surprised. No, I was just making sure everybody could hear me. I didn't know. I'm very surprised no one didn't say Randy Orton. If I had to make a pick, it has to be Randy Orton. I mean, if we think about John Cena, you got to think about Randy Orton, especially when they did the two titles and lift them up and did the ladder match between those two. That's back when Daniel Bryan, John was really pushing Daniel Bryan when the Yes movement was kind of mostly, I would say, born. I don't think a lot of people remember that, but when they was in the ring together, that was maybe one of the most intense stare downs. And like you had everybody, you had all the wrestlers, you had Triple H. That's back when the Authority was around. Stephanie McMahon. Everyone in the ring, and they put the two titles up in the air, and they did the ladder match. I think the rival I have to pick is him and Randy. Great rivals, especially when they had the old Big Goldie belt. That's what the belt they was fighting for in the classic WWE belt, the one that had the spin on there. So yeah, so those was I think that was the rival and a great feud at the time. I really love, and I love that match, and one of the best matches I think.
And for those who don't know, Miami loves
him
Big
and Randy
Goldie.
has to be.
You cut off Miami. What'd you say? Miami the Great. What was the other one?
I messed it up. Jesus.
Final boss messed it up. Miami, you there? Test 1, 2. Checking. Did he freeze? Let's see. Miami the Great.
Oh no, I was saying I said I do. I was just saying I was agreeing with. I was just I do. Those like maybe the two titles I love: Big Gold and the Winged Eagle. I was just agreeing with it.
Okay. So mine, Carlos got it right the first time. It's with the rated R Superstar Edge. Which hey, look at that! Look at the fireworks behind me! Woohoo! That's what happens when you have a Mac. Boom. Okay. Edge and John Cena, that TLC match they had at Unforgiven in Toronto when he did the attitude adjustment off the ladder onto those two tables. One of my favorite. I'm a big Edge mark. I'll always be rated R. I loved it when he made out with Lita, taking her away from Kane. And then he went into that Ric Flair, cashing in on John Cena. Remember, Edge was the first guy to cash in a Money in the Bank briefcase. That's history in itself. And then Edge cashing it on Cena after the Elimination Chamber itself is another history-making match. So, and holding that title, he might have lost it the next month at Saturday Night's Main Event or the Royal Rumble, but that made John Cena. He needed a heel, and Edge was that guy because there was nobody else besides maybe Randy. But Randy was doing other things. We were Taker at that time, I think. So it was that rivalry there, and then we saw the respect we saw last night between John Cena and CM Punk. That rivalry there too. When Punk had Paul Heyman in his corner when he was his first championship reign, the SummerSlam title versus title, hell, the Money in the Bank in Chicago. That's right there. Without John Cena, we would have never had that history-making Money in the Bank match when blew that kiss away and he fucked off for a week and came back the next. So, it was how many moments, how many history in the making, how many people did he make? He made Cena. Cena. I have to give it to JBL. Back to JBL's rivalry. JBL made John Cena a main event guy at WrestleMania 21. Then he went on to doing all his other things, but Cena put the weight on his shoulders. He went to Raw. He had rivalries with Christian. He put Christian on the map when he went to Raw the first time. Guys, that's why for me, he helped. Okay, we're not going to talk about Nexus, but he might have saw something that was going on with Nexus that we didn't know, right? So look at the guys in Nexus. Two of them are writing tweets and YouTube blogs that John Cena was a bully. Come on. So there's a lot of caca things happening, but at the end of the day, the man made people. The man made women. He made us. He did some great things for the sport of pro wrestling. So I have to. Growing up, I was born in 89. I know I might be a young stud. Thank you very much. But I mean, at the end of the day, I watched all the other old tapes. And then Cena. I've seen the Stone Cold coming up. I've seen the Bret Harts and all that stuff. But John Cena, 2002, coming up and making history and becoming, I don't know, freaking one of the. He is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. We could say, Roman is a GOAT. We could say Sting was a GOAT, and they did him caca, which I think they did do him caca. He did well in AEW, but. Yes, sir. Go ahead. With his hand raised. Yes, Miami. Oh, you said Roman Reigns at the ones. I got it. I understood.
No, but to what you're saying, Alberto, I think there's some truth maybe to what he did, but at the same time, I also think that John Cena learned from his mistakes that he made as far as protecting his spot, and I think that's why you saw later on him putting the guys like AJ Styles over and things like that, and doing more for the business, not really having a real title reign after WrestleMania. After he lost to The Rock, he really didn't have the title that much longer. It's like I don't think there's. So again, even if there's truth to those things that are being said, it's like. We learn from our mistakes, and he's a better man for it, because I think he did a lot to put people over later on in his career, and he might not have got that, unless he had those mistakes. I really do think he's somebody who reacts things and looks at things and is like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but because I've done that, now it's my time to give back. And I think that's a great thing about, I think, with Cena too. I think it's one of those last wrestlers that we're going to see where they had to kind of protect their spot and they had to kind of do things. And I don't think the wrestling business is like that anymore. So it's kind of like, yeah, and I think Jericho's that way too. I just think we're kind of seeing we're seeing a new era where the wrestlers don't have to do that no more because there's so much money to be made now, and there's better opportunities, and you're not having to work house shows and work the house. I just think wrestling business is a better place for it, and I just think that we need to focus on the positive things of what he gave to the business.
Carlos, 110% what you said. Now, like think about when Cena was started to come up, protecting his spot. Who was showing him how to protect his spot?
Triple A. Oh yeah, exactly.
All the guys that were maybe, showing Cena how to protect the spot. Now getting back, and then when those guys wind down, and then all these things. I just don't agree the fact that these guys are coming out now while he retires and say all these negative comments about him. I find that's wrong. I think it's wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, why didn't you say it back then when he wasn't doing anything? Now you're saying it. Well, like it shows a character who you are at the end of the day. A self-pity little, something. But I mean, do you blame him? If I was in Cena's position, which I don't have the shoulders for, but I mean, if I was in Cena's position and I was being taught by people like Undertaker and Triple H, hey, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the guy walked out because he didn't want to lose to Brock Lesnar. Did we all forget about that? So guys like this taught Cena how to be a peanut. I mean,
it's the pro wrestling business. Just like you get people that's part of the business. Just like he was going out how we went out last night. That's the pro wrestling business. It's like respect the business. But again, just be careful that it's not those times anymore. Everyone gets to eat now, and I think that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah, and everybody grows. Everybody grows. Michael, you seem like you have to say something. I would like to know what Michael's thoughts about that.
I was just going to kind of back up what you said there as well, because I think Final Boss Baby had mentioned the CVV interview that he did here recently, which he was very elusive in a lot of the things he was talking about, trying to be as nice as possible with some answers, I do believe. But he did say specifically, there was a guy backstage, and he didn't want to name names, but he was like, hey, that guy hated me. And we talked about it, and he was like, yeah, because on this day we met and you were a dick. Yeah. And he was like, we talked about it, we smoothed it over, we're good now. He's like, but even the best people had the worst days. And if you catch that guy on the worst day, then yeah, you're gonna have a negative opinion of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, I think we've lost CJ. Final Boss still here. Thank you, Final Boss. Miami. Carlos, thank you so much. And Michael, of course, thank you so much. We're going to wind down the show. We'll talk a bit. I know I have to wind down because it's an hour and a half. I got a time limit on these things, man, But I want to know two more questions from all you guys, your thoughts of what really, like yesterday, we saw a lot of emotion. All of us. We cried. We got angry. We laughed. Now, for me, I saw a picture this morning when I woke up that I didn't see it in the post show. But what do you think Cody Rhodes is thought when he kept looking at those sneakers and those wristbands in the ring? I saw that photo and he looked and he did the salute. Now, what was that? Do you think that was a seed planted to say, okay, maybe the torch is now passed to me, and I got to fill up those sneakers, those shoes, or was it something that you think Cody Rhodes actually meant and felt for John Cena? Anybody could go first.
I think it's very business wise. I think it's PR. I think he did it for the look, But I also think Cody respects the business. It's about business first, And Cody's just like John Cena. He takes being the face of the company, being the quarterback, very seriously. You do the kids. Cody stays late, to greet every fan at a show. It's like he's trying to represent like what John Cena did in the best way possible, as far as making sure that you appreciate these fans' money. Yeah, you can't help the corporation that they work for now and how they do business things and stuff like that. But at the same time, you still are a person who gets to make your own choices. And I just think Cody really respects what John did for the business, and it's just like he's trying to he takes being past that torch seriously, and it meant a lot to him because it took Cody respects that, it just they're cut from the same cloth, and so I just think that Cody respects him going out like that, respects what he did for the business, and just respects the businessman that John Cena was because they're two peas in a pod as far as that goes, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I got a mixed emotion when I saw that image. Final boss, when you saw that, what did you think about it?
I have a lot of thoughts about that, and it kind of ties into when they were showing the Cena tributes that these stars were doing.
Yes.
And one of them was, of course, the one with Cody Rhodes, and he said, "Cena, thanks for the house. Well, thanks for building the house." And I like that statement because it's like saying, "Hey, this is the house that Cena built. He set the standard." But the other part of me is kind of like, kind of don't like that because it's like saying, "Hey, Cena built the house, but now I'm here to help to run the house now." And just like, Cody, I thought you was gonna retire soon. Now we know that he did sign a new deal, but the original plan was for him to retire at like 40. I guess like 45 now. The fact that he's still kind of saying that, and he's kind of towards the end of his career, and really on the older side of everything, to me, is just kind of distasteful. I hope that by him doing the salute, it's just him showing respect for Cena, which I truly believe that he does. He has shown that. But I also feel like he should take that as a moment and see, hey, I'm done. Hey, maybe it's time for you to be up next, pal. Now he can be exactly what his dad was, because his dad, he was a coach back in NXT up until his death, right? So he can still be that, that ambassador role, which would be great for Cody. But I think for him to think, hey, the torch is passed on to me now, is absolutely ridiculous, because he's really towards the end of his career, like a lot of stars are. Like, of course, people we love, like AJ Styles and your Randy Ortons and your CM Punks. These are really future legends. These are not legends in the making anymore. These are now future legends, and I think that Cody is right in that group. Your next guy in line is not going to be Mr. Cody Rhodes. Like, that time is now over, because you're towards the end of your career. I mean, that's where we are. I'm not saying that Cody is horrible, which to me it kind of is, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, hey, you are a future legend, and as you've heard, and as we all have heard, there's a lot of people who plan to retire or be on their last run this coming year. Now we know that Cody's going to be there for a couple more years because he re-signed that contract. But hey, you're up there, with our Roman Reigns, with our Randy Ortons, AJ Styles. Well, he's leaving next year, but you're right there. You're not the new guy coming in who just came in, 2-3 years ago, Cody. So for me, it kind of irked me the wrong way, but I do think that he does respect Cena, and I think that honestly, Cena is what Cody really wants to be. And I'm going to make it very clear in WWE. I'm not talking about, the indies. I'm talking about that is what Cody wants to be in WWE. He wanted to be, I'm not saying that character, but he wanted to be that guy. We talked about finding the next Cena, which we went through it with Roman. We're basically kind of going through it with Cody. They really want to find that next good baby face, and that's why Cody broke his back trying to be that when he first won a championship, taking it off of Roman Reigns. That's why he was doing all the extra things, like staying after to meet with fans. He's building up that whole PR, which Cena, clearly has with the fans. Over there shaking babies' hands and kissing babies and shaking kids. Well, we know that Cena Make-A-Wish Foundation is astronomical. That's things that he was doing to try to become that figure. And it's not just about him doing it for himself, but WWE is looking for that next guy. So I just hope that he meant well by it, and I hope that it's kind of a look in the mirror by him looking down at the at the Cena gear.
Yeah, Michael.
I don't think I can say anything better than that. It's been said by a couple of people that it's obvious that Cody was fashioning himself after Cena. Cody has said numerous times he wants to be QB1. He wants to be the face of the company, whether that means he's champ or not. Because even when John Cena wasn't the champ, he was still the guy out there in front, being the face of the company for everybody. And so I think Cody wanted to fashion himself out after that when he came back. I do think a lot of it was just, being Dusty's kid. I'm sure he's got a lot of that old school ingrained in him. And so seeing a legend like John Cena put the boots down and say he's done, I'm sure that does bring up a lot of emotion too. So I do think it was very genuine, and it's not very often, and they could be working me, but I think Jackie showing up and asking those random people as they went along, as we kind of saw with the Jey Uso thing, which we won't get into that, but I don't think they were expecting to get an interview at that point. So I think it was kind of a sidelined interview, and we got to see a little bit of real emotion.
Yeah, I Miami. I want to know what you think about that. Every time I ask Miami, so. All right, I'm just gonna keep
He's
going.
watching. He's watching us. He's watching his prop bets as he's doing this too. He's a busy man.
Hardest working man in the business, right there.
Next frozen
just
me.
said,
Oh.
I think my question to the panel: history of champions. Are we looking for a young guy to be like John? The guys don't become the guys until they become champion. Last time I thought most of the majority of the time when guys become champion, they're down there in their 40s or old. We'll say, if Final Boss says, oh, and that's what most of the time they put the rocket on. What a lot of was said was Cody said that there are people that said that who's the next Triple H, who's the next Undertaker, who's the next Brock Lesnar, who's the next John Cena. There is none. You never find who's that next person. A person tries to be that next person. Like you got Darby Allin, he tries to be like Sting because that's who he grew up in. Idolized. I mean, there's always a wrestler that idolizes another wrestler. Look at Breaker. He reminds you so much of his dad. That's another person that you are probably looking at. Look at Dominic Mysterio. A lot of people are putting him like maybe higher than maybe with his dad. Maybe, which is guys like that you look at and just say, man, can they be the next, Rey Mysterio or whoever? And we don't know that yet, not just yet. And I do agree with Final Boss that maybe Cody is trying to be that, but he may not be because he's at the tail end of his career. I think he has like maybe 3 more years left on his contract. He said,
but I think Cody is that right now, though. Cody currently is the QB1. He is right now.
And that's what I think. So I think that's what a lot of people will not realize. That's why I say that goes back to when I was saying that a lot of guys was old. I mean, we think about these guys back in the day when they was only person that was when we had the young champions. If you think about it, everyone else was kind of like in their either older or damn near. So I think that's what we have to look at too. I feel like yes, Cody is up there because he is that big baby fan. When is he going to turn? Just like we used to say about John. Are we going to get that turn? It's same almost damn near blueprint if you're not mistaken. Now, will he be big as John Cena? I don't think so because he did left. We already know why. And then he came back, but I don't think no one fulfilled John Cena issues. We might won't see it in our lifetime. His will. I will see John Cena. We'll never see a Hulk Hogan. We'll never see another Brock Lesnar. We'll of this guy, but I don't think we'll ever say even with Roman Reigns. We like Funaball said earlier today. We did not suspect Roman Reigns to be this character who he is today. She said it perfectly. Seth Rollins was the guy. We all know that if Seth would never got hurt, I always say this to Funaballs. What would Roman been at? Would he been in the same position he would have been today? And it always makes me wonder. But this happening this time, maybe maybe something happens that makes us change our mind that Cody is, he carried the torch and came the next Johnson, but right now I don't think.
But to what you're saying, though, I don't think they need that guy anymore, because for them now it's like they've done a smart thing, because when they lost the Rock, now nobody's above the brand. Like, the most important thing is the WWE brand. So it's been done by design that nobody no more is above the brand, because that way, if they lose somebody or something gets injured, it's the brand that matters most. Period.
Yep, agreed, 100%. For me, that image struck a chord a little bit. It's like I was emotional about it, because the guy. There's a lot of Cody haters out there. Like we just a couple of years ago, we had the "We Want Cody" hashtag, and then there's this image that I saw a bunch of these comments that they're hating on him. Why? Why are you hating on him now? You guys wanted him.
Brian Danielson said it the best way. Wrestling fans are fickle. Once we get what we want, we want it different. It's like, okay, that was we're fickle. Like, I think it's the best way to put it.
Every single episode, Brian Danielson comes up on my show. Why? Okay, but I have to agree with him. Brian Danielson, you're correct. Wrestling fans are fickle. I'll agree with you on this one. Okay. All right. I want to know last thing before we shut it down, because I don't want to take away any of your times. I guess I appreciate you guys coming, making time for me, and celebrating John Cena and his career. Last night was a night to never forget. I don't want to talk about the way he smirked and tapped out, because that was what it was. It is what it is. But I want to know I want to actually, if you guys don't mind, is I want to do like a little montage video. Final Boss, I know you don't have your glasses on, so I would have liked you on camera, but I'll use your audio. I'm going to put you guys backstage and bring you up individually. And I'd like you to, if you want, say thank you to John. And I'm making like a montage video like we saw at the Tom Brady's. But I want to do like a video of the internet crew of our podcast.
Really quick before we do that, can I just make a plug? We're later on at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. I'll be doing episode 2 of Queens Road for the Wrestle Collective. So again, it's our monthly show to celebrate women's wrestling. So I would love, please, if you're around, I love supporting that. Again, Queens Road at 7 o'clock Eastern time for the Wrestle Collective.
And where's that? Where they can find that, Carlos?
We'll be streaming it on the WC Worldwide on the Wrestle Collective X account, and also on YouTube as well. So
there you go. Everybody forgets the where we get. You say you want to plug, but where do we find it? Is the question.
True. Yeah.
No, I always tell my guests, where you got your podcast, but where do we find your podcast?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, of course. Everybody watching, we got 286 watching. Click Wrestle Collective. It's as simple as Wrestle Collective, 1 word, 2 words. Sorry, on the YouTube and on X. And Carlos is going to be hosting. Now, Carlos, I have to say, it's a John Cena show, so I'm just going to say, just by plugging that, it's going to cost you $5.99. Just saying. Just kidding. All right. I want to know your last things, guys. Your thank yous to John Cena. I did mine. I posted on the TikTok. I posted on X. I posted on Facebook and Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. I'm gonna want to put you guys backstage, bring you back up. I want to just individually, if you want to say thank you to John Cena. I know we don't know the guy, but it's a good PR thing. It's the content, if you will. So Carlos, Final boss. I'm gonna put you backstage. I'm gonna give the stage to Michael. So here we go. Backstage. Michael, take it away, sir.
Gonna start with me. Thank you, John Cena, for installing into my son the same values that I try to show him. Seeing it from someone higher in his mind, higher in the world, has made a massive difference for him. And seeing that in his eyes and getting to have that one moment of watching your last match together is going to go down as one of the best times that me and him have had. So thank you. One final salute.
Thank you, Michael. That was nice. I'm gonna put you down on the backstage. I'm gonna bring up Mr. Miami the Great. Miami, say thank you to John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, to me, John Cena, what a great career. Everything that you've done for the industry, like I said previously in the podcast. We hope that everything goes successful for whatever next in your chapter. That goes for anyone who follows in the footsteps and goes back and looks at the videos that you watch of him, like him, love him, hate him. He's still one of the goats we call. Hope we'll to see another Justina or our kids with the Justina come closest and get that same experience. Thank you for us up and that's all I say.
Thank you very much, Miami. Carlos Estrada, stage is yours.
I wanted to just say thank you, John Cena, for I think something I try to practice in my life is leave the world better than you found it. And I think John Cena is the example of that. He's leaving the world better than he found it. And then he's also, but more than that, he's leaving the pro wrestling business better than he found it. Thank you, John Cena, for all you've done for pro wrestling, giving fans something to believe in, giving wrestlers and talent, everyone in the wrestling business, a better quality of life. And just thank you for keeping your word and always trying your best and never giving up and just being a role model for so many out there. Again, we salute you. Thank you, Cena.
Thank you, Carlos. And now, final boss. Final boss.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, Cena. Thank you for everything. This has been said many times. There will never be another John Cena. Your legacy is going to live on forever. Thank you for all the moments. Thank you for all the matches. Thank you for all the times where we thought you were going to give up in the ring and you didn't. Thank you for being that ambassador, for shaking those hands and being the star that every kid wants to meet, and for being the star that every woman wants to scream when you came out. Thanks for having a gesture and sayings that we don't even have like that anymore. And I know that you put your sneakers in the ring, your famous sweatbands and wristbands in the ring, but just please know that, and I don't think I say this alone or feel this way alone, that if you ever get that itch again to come back and give us some matches, ones-offs here and there, we will not say no, and we won't take it from your retirement. Thank you, Cena, and can't wait to see what you do next in life, WWE, and even on the big screen.
Nice. Each of you guys said something beautiful. I appreciate it. I just want to say thank you to John Cena for making me start this and meeting people like who I have on my panel today. So, guys, I want to thank you for being here with me to celebrate John. So it means a lot that you actually took your time of the day to be with me and to be on the show. Thank you to JJ Williams. Thank you to CJ, who were here earlier. People like John Cena bring wrestling fans together. And I'm a big component guy of wrestling fans. As you guys all know, this podcast is based out of getting to know the wrestling fan, getting to know you. And because of people like John Cena, who brought me into wrestling and still kept me into wrestling, hustle, loyalty, and respect. This is how I think and bring this podcast to. I hustle. I'm going to be loyal to my guests, and I'm always going to give you respect. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this special edition of John Cena. He's retired yesterday, a big emotional night, and thank you guys for being with me. I appreciate you all. And you can't see me. Just saying. Okay, there you go. Oh, look at that! You can't see me. Makes me do fireworks. Damn it! Look at that. Can't see me.
Now you can't see me for real.
I just see balls. I don't see. That's all I see. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna put you backstage, and I'm gonna see you guys backstage. But it's an hour and a half to John Cena, guys. John Cena. You guys want to wave? You can't see me to John. Whoever's on the camera. No. Yeah, you can't see me. I like Carlos. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Put you guys backstage. And that's it, guys. Thank you again for watching After the Slam Special Edition. I think it's episode 19 here. Next week, next Friday, I have Wrestle Real. He's a TikToker. He's going to be on the show. I have Ash V, I have Tay. I have Grumpy Omega from the Wrestle Collective coming on. There's keeps going. We're growing all together. If I grow, you grow. Remember that. So thank you very much for watching After the Slam. Thank you, John Cena, for everything you've done for us in this wrestling circus that we call pro wrestling, and everything that you've done for us. So thank you, John Cena. I'm just going to put this up here, background music, and that's it, man. Thank you, John.
Gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first the host, straight from After the Slam podcast, Bodacious Albert.
After the slam.